Welcome to Love What You Love. I'm Julie Rose. I'm insatiably curious about people in the world around us and absolutely in love with passion and unselfconscious enthusiasm. Every other week, I geek out with someone about the thing that they love, and then I share it with you. Welcome back, or welcome. Hey, just a quick request before we get started. If you're enjoying Love What You Love, please leave a rating or review on the podcast platform of your choice. It really helps other curious, big-hearted folks like yourself find the show. And if rating and reviewing isn't your thing, I would love it if you'd share the show with friends or family or neighbors or DoorDash drivers, whatever. Okay, on to this week's show. Shana Sharp is a balloon artist and self-described professional joymonger, dedicated to making people smile 4 days a week on her Twitch stream, where she's building a community dedicated to creativity and fun. It's balloon art like you've probably never imagined it. In this conversation, we talk freedom, entropy, zombie parades, why balloons are life in microcosm, the shrunken head of Edward G. Robinson, where she finds her inspiration, and so much more. So find out why Shana loves balloon art, and why you might learn to love it too. Hello, Shana. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
I'm excited to talk to you. So I just recently discovered you on Twitch, and you call yourself the Bob Ross of balloons, and that made me so happy. And a manic pixie stream mom, which just tickled me to death. So I would just love to know, when did you start making balloon art, and how did you get into this?
Sure. It's been a journey. So let's see. I've been making balloon art for 15 years now. In my 20s, I had an office job, and at some point I just kind of said, this isn't for me. So I quit that. And I became a birthday clown. I happened to know a family friend who he was a professional clown. He supported his family on that. He was an ex-Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus clown, and just to be able, it's so important, I think, for young artists to meet other artists who are making it work for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just seeing, not even being successful, just supporting your family,
yeah,
just paying your bills, just being a normal human being, with the dignity of a living wage, but doing art or performance or that whatever it is that inspires you. So I met him and saw that it could be done, and he trained me in all the basics. So I did. As a birthday clown, you do everything. It's shotgun approach where you're face painting, magic shows. I'm going to do silly stuff. We're going to wear makeup and I'll do balloon animals as an add-on for 10 minutes at the end, and I was really into face painting at first because I've always been an artist. I've always been a painter or an illustrator. I've always loved that. And so I love the face painting, and I still do. But the thing is, I saw firsthand how much more people respond to the balloons.
Huh.
It's amazing. There's something. I don't know.
Why?
I've spent more hours than the average human being trying to figure out what it is, and I can't figure it out. And at this point, I'm just I embrace it. It is. But there's something about it's bright colors. Smooth shapes, something that wasn't there a moment before and now suddenly is. Do you know, I literally take a handful of rainbow spaghetti, and within, depending on what I'm making, 5 minutes to, if I'm on Twitch, 2.5 hours later, we've got a 3-dimensional cartoon character. There's something that physically exists in space, an artifact that, think of any other medium that you would create an object in that approximate scale. If you made a stuffed animal, if you were carving a sculpture, if you were, I don't know, I'm trying to ragging a Lego, sculpture, that would take you days, if at least hours. But, with balloons, you can really inflate it with air and make it live. Someone can see creation in almost a time lapse kind of speed. And it's interactive because they get to request a thing, and that the magic of that interaction was really what charmed me to my core and brought me to balloons as a medium, because I think I'm a visual artist second, but I feel that I'm a performer first, and balloons are this wonderful medium that allow me to both make a visual art product and entertain in the moment with this, engage with this human being, make them smile, make them laugh, show them a little bit of wonder, something that they didn't think could exist in this world before they met me. Now their concept of what's possible has changed in this tiny, tiny, insignificant way. I'm not trying to over inflate the importance. Womp womp. But there's something magic about that. I'm sorry, I could go on forever. I'm sure all of your guests could.
No, and I love it. That's just, I would have never thought of it that way. But like bringing this little gift, this little gem of joy to somebody, oh, I love that.
I think that's why it appeals to grown-ups as much, if not more, dare I say, than to children. It's been, like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years, and when you do balloons, the way you make a living is generally children's events, right? It's kids' parties. I work a few corporate events because there were kids there. You work a few weddings because there are kids there. But it was the hardest sell to tell people, no. At these parties, sure, I get balloons out to the kids, but who's standing around me 10 minutes in is all the grown-ups, because they are like, whoa, hey, all I've ever seen in my previous 40 years on this planet has been dogs and swords and flowers. And now I'm seeing, cartoon characters, animals, I'm seeing, vehicles, I'm seeing, just crazy stuff. So the adults are the ones who truly maybe appreciate the level that we're bringing it to. And so it taps into a child. There's this nostalgia and a wonder that adults are not used to feeling daily anymore. And as children, you feel that every day, right? As children, you walk around and you're like, whoa, I guess that exists. I didn't know that yesterday. And that's a feeling that's so normal. But for adults, that's not something we feel every day. So the fact that I get a chance to show just a little bit of that is such a gift and such a motivator for me.
Yeah, what a joy. You were a clown and you were doing kids events. When did you transition out of that, and when did you start your Twitch stream, and what made you start that stream?
So 2020 was kind of the year that the bottom fell out of the market for hot rubber bags of my breath. Not really a large call for that in a respiratory infection environment. So, people are like, we're not doing in-person events, so no parties. And that's been my entire income. And it's been a hustle, for sure. I've never, that's just how it is when I figure as an artist, you always make that trade, right? You're like, well, I guess I won't have comfort or stability, but I will love my life. And so, but then here it is. It's like, oh, I can't actually, for the first time in 15 years, I was really scared. Even through the economic downturn of 2008, we were fine. The last place people like to cut back on their budget is for their children.
Right.
And so that was a thing where it's like, even if we're not going to the movies every week and we're not for Jimmy's birthday party, we're still gonna blow it out. So that really supported me. But when what is canceled is parties, is togetherness, there was nothing. And so, I luckily was able to apply for unemployment. And so I have local family that was just exceeding generosity, helping me keep my young family afloat. But I just personally knew I needed some kind of creative outlet or I'd go insane. And so I looked up live streaming. I'm 40 years old. It felt a little intimidating,
Yeah.
because I don't even do video game. I don't see, that's how out of it I am. I said do video games. I don't do video games. I'm not a gamer.
Yeah.
I don't. Man, I've just been so out of touch. I'm, with tech, and so it was a real kind of a moment where I had to just step in and be like, well, the stakes are very low.
Yeah.
Because that was the hidden gift for me of 2020, that I have to remind myself is that, nothing left to lose is just another word for freedom. It's when everything else shuts down, that's when you can take those risks. Because it's like, what am I risking? Nothing? Oh no, what's the worst that could happen? I could make $0. Well, I'm still doing that.
Right.
So that's what's happening now. except I'm going to be learning, and it's so uncomfortable. Oh man. when you feel like you've got it figured out and you're like, I'm a professional, and then you step into a completely new ecosystem, it is it's intense. But I did find my way to Twitch and started live streaming, and what a joyous experience. What an uplifting, reaffirming, like in love with humanity and the possibilities of life. That kind of like it just, I was worried that I would be that old lady who didn't understand how to type commands into the computer and didn't know the lingo and would have audio failures or whatever. And I just found a community of people of all ages, all walks of life, all experience levels, who were able to empathize with you when you went through technical difficulties as a human being, who were able to assist you in ways, who were able to cheer you on, and who feel that the part of your learning curve is an adventure that they themselves are on. And so with that support and that kind of, there is what is failure? What is it? Define it in your head. What is it that you're afraid of? And I realized I couldn't put words to that justified my anxiety. Just diving into this supportive environment, it's been amazing, and it's really exploded in a way that I hadn't anticipated. It's only been like four months maybe that I've been on Twitch, and I have over 3,000 followers. Wow. And it's crazy. I didn't do anything. I didn't advertise, or I have zero social media presence. It's just been people reaching out and finding me and sharing it, and it's glorious.
Oh yeah, my husband was just looking through the art category on Twitch and found you, and we were just both like, this is incredible. This is incredible. It's so joyful.
Yeah, and the thing I keep hearing is everyone's like, I had no idea this was even a thing. It's nobody knows to search for balloon art. Like, who's gonna, well, you know what, I could really go, is it Netflix tonight, or is it bespoke balloon art live stream? Like, that's not, but the beauty of Twitch, and it's a complicated platform. I'm sure there are pluses and minuses, but one of the huge benefits is that it truly allows people to be organically found and supported by searches, by recommendations, it is, for better or worse, a dataocracy. They have all kinds of information on what people are looking at, what people are responding to, and what people like. And that has served me quite well. I'm sure it's been frustrating for others, but my content is such that it's very shareable. It's very visual. It's high energy. And so it's getting a lot of that feedback, and a lot of it's been discoverable in a way that, as a small mom in the San Fernando Valley working birthday parties, I never was before. I was doing it, I'm not saying that I regret before or that I look down on it. I was making it happen and I didn't have to have a 40-hour-a-week job, but 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 this platform has allowed me a kind of reach that I didn't think was possible before, because entertainment has always been the entertainment industry has always been kind of opaque, and it's there are these gatekeepers at the top. There are these a small number of movie production companies, a small number of television companies, a small number of your Netflixes, your Hulus, and they, even though it feels like there's a lot of them, relative to the landscape, there's quite a few, and how do you get in there? But Twitch allows content creators to essentially have their own public access channel that they can schedule and program any way they like, as long as obviously it adheres to the terms of service. But that's incredible. And people can, one of the neatest functions of Twitch is rating. At the end of your show, you can take your audience and export them into another channel, you can turn the dial for them and change to another public access channel, and now they're watching that show. You get to introduce your audience to something they might like, and you can literally like put it in their hand, as opposed to saying, hey, and by the way, click this link to watch this. No one clicks the link. But if the screen just automatically changes, and now, hey, you guys, I don't know what this is, but apparently it's balloons. Let's go check this out. Now I'm being introduced to 30 people who were watching someone play music just earlier, or 20 people who are watching someone play a video game. Oh man, and I'm just scratched the surface. I know that I have, because I am a mother to a toddler, and so my time is limited. But I'm just at that stage. I can feel it. I'm in like new romance stage, the love bubble, where it's like, oh, my new partner can do no wrong, and the possibilities are I'll probably be with them forever. But I can feel that energy on me, but it's fine as long as I acknowledge it, I think.
Yeah, no, I love it. Now, on the stream, requests are like the centerpiece of your stream. Can you talk a little bit about how that works, how people request things, and what's your process when you get a request in? Like, how do you get started?
Sure. So let me take it back to like how it used to work in the traditional balloon industry. So I love talking about it like this, because it is a legit industry. There are, industry conventions globally all over that I've taught at. People make their living at this, so they take it very seriously. But in general, for balloon artists who are more, they would say performers, the ones who do parties and twist creations, as opposed to decorators, who are the ones who do like balloon arches and helium bouquets, etc. So the balloon artists are the ones who usually, like when I learned balloon art, I learned maybe 10 animals that you could make out of one balloon each, right? The dog, the sword, the bunny rabbit, the giraffe, the horse, and all of these are basically the dog, but with a long neck, right. Or with, there's a few finite things you can do to a cylinder, right? It's limited, and that was what I did at first, and I didn't take it seriously. Like I said, I've always been an artist. I thought that balloons were, just, you can basically do like a line sketch with them, is what I thought. And that's what everything is that you learn at the beginning. And you know what? 80% of kids are completely overjoyed with that. I'm not poo-pooing the art of simple balloons, because most events, that's what the kids want. They just want something colorful in their hand and to run around and enjoy the party. But because I'm an artist, eventually I started to get comfortable with my medium. And so when you're a balloon artist, people ask, what can you make? And they expect like a list of like, well, I can make, starting with maybe my most impressive thing. Like, I can make a monkey in a palm tree. Ooh. Or I can make a mermaid. Or a unicorn. Oh, or, and then you keep going down the list. But I had a point at which I realized, I can make anything as long as I, take my artist's brain and instead of applying it to pencil and marker and, or digital color, just apply it to the medium of balloons. The balloons come in different gauges. What's the proportion of the animal that I'm making or the Pokemon that's been requested? And let me tell you, that was really nerve-wracking at first, telling a kid I can make anything. If they say I want to, I honestly don't even know, like a Lightning McQueen, where I'm like, oh boy, like I don't actually know a quote Lightning McQueen. I don't have a Lightning McQueen recipe memorized in my head. But it's like, well, okay, but let's think about this. He's a rectangle and he's red, but he has a bit of white in the front that would be his windshield, and he's going to need 4 black bubbles for his tires. So I know that I have red balloons and black balloons and white balloons, and I can create that shape. And then with Sharpie marker, that's where my secret superpower comes in. I can tap on my history as being an artist in a 2-dimensional medium and put on the details that really bring this 3-dimensional balloon canvas to life. So that's how I approach the request at this point. So I love telling people I can make anything and letting that sink in for them, because mashups of the most bonkers things I've had on stream. Let's see, we made last night Rob, the NES robot from the 80s.
Yeah.
We made Hagrid and Fang from Harry Potter. We made, what else did we make? Oh, we made Gaston being confused by a book. And we decided that the book that was confusing him was Eat, Pray, Love, which I think is hilarious. On stream, people have had me make a balloon me, making a smaller balloon me, making a smaller balloon me. We made Golden Girls in a bobsled team, one of my favorite ones. So like we can do mashups. Like the possibilities are literally limitless. I can do abstract concepts, It's so funny. People, anything? It's like, yeah, man, because it's art. It's subjective. That's the thing that people anything? Well, yeah, like, I mean, so who's to determine? Ceci n'est pas un pipe, right? Like, I'm not literally making you someone asked for the Roman Colosseum. I can't make you the Colosseum, but I can make you a facsimile thereof. And because it's art, I have artistic license. That's just understood. No one's ever stormed out of a stream because the balloon was not 100% accurate. But the freedom that gives me, and the freedom of the Twitch medium, where I can, because so much of it is entertainment and talking, and improv games with my husband, who also co-streams with me. The balloons can take about an hour a piece. And my streams are sometimes, 4 hours long. And I'll make 3 to 4 balloons over the course of that 4 hours. And they love it. They keep coming back. I was worried that I wasn't making enough balloons. But it's almost like, come for the balloons, stay for the fun. Stay for the energy, stay for the community. So the thing that if I can go back to Twitch, the thing that I really love, I started seeing happening, was I would start streaming, and like about 5-10 minutes in, a regular would pop in, and in the chat they'd say, "Hey, I can't make the stream, but I just wanted to pop in and say hi." Oh. And everyone says, "Oh, hey, so and so," and then they leave, and like, so what that tells me is that they're not here for the balloons. They clicked on the link for the balloons. But now they're here for the friendships, for the community. Twitch is the show and the water cooler at the same time.
Oh, that's a great analogy. I love that. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
When I thought of that, I totally high-fived myself. But like, that is, because that's what it's instead of like, hey, did you watch the show? It's, hey, we're all watching the show right now. So I'll get one user who makes a joke that references a video game that I don't know. I don't know that video game. I'll see it in chat and I'll kind of shrug my way out of it. But another user does play that video game. Maybe 3 or 4 other users play that video game, and they chime in and they chat back and forth and they're laughing at each other. The audience is entertaining themselves. And on some level, it's a community. It's the sense of like, we're all watching this thing. Every once in a while we can ask Shana a question. She will absolutely respond. Maybe it sends her and her husband on a little comedy conversation riff that lasts for 2 minutes. Maybe, I mean, I'm very ADHD, and so that has lent itself very much to Twitch, because I'm constantly, my attention is being drawn in 12 different directions, but in a way I hope that is entertaining and positive and energetic.
So what's the process when somebody requests a balloon? Do they have to be a subscriber? How does that work? Which ones do you pick? How does that work?
Oh man, that the like functionality of that was one of my biggest hesitations moving over to Twitch, because I was on another platform before Twitch that had a poll function built in that I really liked, and I couldn't find any other platform that had that. Twitch does have a live poll feature, but it limits it to 5 entries. So you can only vote between 5 things, and as the creator of the poll, you have to populate the choices. So I can't just say, hey, type in what you want, and then amongst yourselves, pick and choose. If anyone's curious, the platform I worked on before was Crowdcast, and it does have a user-generated poll feature, which I really like. It's sort of like an upvote people's questions. So it's sort of like the most relevant question to the largest amount of the audience gets answered by the host. So it's a really great feature, not something I could find anywhere else. But what I found out was with Twitch, there's a huge overlap with Discord usage. Are you familiar with the Discord app? So I again, just learned about it. But I love it so much. So I have a Discord server. It is completely free for anyone to join. I didn't want to hide nominations or requests behind a paywall, because that was something that, I mean, we can talk about the monetization of Twitch. I think that's an interesting area to probe. But for Discord, I where people make there's a specific channel in our Discord server for balloon requests, and you just post there, and periodically my moderators will say, we're clearing it out, now you have to post below this line. So we don't have a huge backlog, and the requests are voted on by other Discord users with the thumbs up react. So the number of like, you can react with whatever emote you want, but the thumbs up are the votes. And then the top 5 nominations in the Discord by votes there get populated into the live Twitch poll. So users who are more casual, like your husband, who just happened to find me and aren't already a Discord user, why would they be? Like, that's another level of engagement. They can still, if they happen to be there when the poll goes up, vote on what is probably pretty funny things. My community, I've managed to foster this community that loves, the sort of humor that appeals to Twitch users. A lot of meme comedy, a lot of 90s retro stuff, so it's a lot of irony, a lot of mashups, and so it's great. Like, it's almost, you're assured that your choices are going to be something in the 5 that you would love to see. So that's, I love how that works, because it doesn't reward those who pay. It rewards those who are more invested in the community.
Right.
It rewards those who are like, yeah, I'm going to join your Discord, and I'm going to take the time to, go into this balloon channel and type in my request. And if it doesn't get voted this week, I'm going to take the time to go back in and put it again. Because some, like, Golden Girls bobsled team was suggested at least 5 times.
Wow.
And bypassed. It never made it.
What?
But finally it got voted up, and it is one of my all-time favorites. But it's that people get determined. They don't get discouraged, because along the way, even worst case scenario, still something cool is getting made. and then there's always that it's kind of worked out in my favor, because there's a little bit of that FOMO of like, oh no, is she going to make the thing I requested this stream? Because you don't get a schedule when your request is made. If you put it in the Discord, it could get made on Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon. So there's a motivator to check in every time just to see, is she making it? Oh, she's not making it. Is she making? Oh, I know she's making it. Okay. I want to see this one. So it's really been spectacular.
So what would you say are your favorite kinds of balloons to make, and what are your least favorite kinds of balloons to make?
My least favorite, I would say, are when someone wants the thing that someone right in front of them got. Do you know what I mean? So like that happens a lot at birthday parties, because a kid will say, I want a unicorn. I don't mind making a unicorn. I've made a billion unicorns. I don't mind making a unicorn again. If it makes this kid happy, absolutely. When the next kid comes up and says, I want a unicorn too.
Oh, no.
And I'll try, because the thing is, maybe that little girl loves unicorns even more than the first little girl. But then it's like, well, what color mane do you want your unicorn to have? What makes your unicorn special? Is your unicorn also have a tentacle? Does your unicorn also have a third eye? Like, what's cool about your unicorn? Is your unicorn an astronaut unicorn? No, I want it exactly like hers.
Oh.
Okay. And again, I am a professional. I do not show my disappointment. This is a child. I'm not trying to oh, you're so unoriginal. Like, I would never do that. But in my mind, I'm judging that child. No, in my mind, I'm bored as an artist, but I'm also an employee in a lot of respects when I'm working live events. So, my favorite thing to make is the absolute flip of that coin. People always say, what's your favorite thing to make? And I can't just say like, oh, I love making this one thing. My favorite thing to make is the exact request that the person in front of me wants. People push on that. I say, okay, well, I like making cartoons because I am a big cartoon nerd. So like someone asked for Quail Man the other day, which is not just Doug Funny from the Doug cartoon, but his superhero alter ego where he wore his underpants on the outside of his shorts and his belt around his head. And that was so specific. I loved making, you know what I mean? Like, because again, what I love is the interaction. So when I hand the completed Quail Man to the person for whom that was such a meaningful, piece of pop culture, the look on their face, that's what I like. I want to see the absolute, I didn't think it could be done, and it is done, and it is here. That I don't, balloons are balloons. I can make anything out of balloons. It's paints, it's markers, it's pencils, it's chalk, it's marble. It's just a medium. I want the reaction because my art, unlike most art forms, is very ephemeral. Balloons are like sandcastles or fireworks, or flowers. They're beautiful and then they're gone. But also, aren't we all, right? I mean, this is balloons are life. They are this in microcosm. This thing. We breathe air into it, and it is beautiful, and then it ages, and then it's gone, and it's this. It's very in the moment. It's an art form that's meant to be enjoyed now, and it's not meant to be up on a shelf or Yes. So it's like I can't Jeff Koons and his amazing balloon sculptures. I think they're so wonderful because they do that thing where it combines these two very opposite aspects of the permanence of a ginormous metal cast sculpture and like a balloon animal, and the simplicity and and the brevity. But I like to keep my old balloons around on my shelves to watch them kind of shrivel. And then I show the audience if they say like, oh my gosh, is that Calvin and Hobbes on the shelf? And I'll say, yeah, look at them. They're so shrunk up now. They're getting old. They look so ugly.
Well, I was gonna ask you, what do you do with your balloons when so do they all go on the shelf, or do they
keep them around?
Yeah.
It's the entropy is part of the fascination. It's I keep them around, and every once in a while we'll have a special stream where we'll do what I call a zombie parade, and we'll show all of the past balloons, and then if they're too far gone, we'll put them out of their misery and release the last remaining air molecules back into the room to be repurposed in future balloon art. And we take pictures of things, and as the saying goes, it lasts longer. But the balloons themselves, the medium itself, is very much in the present. You see almost the entire life cycle of this work of art, and I think there's something really cool about that.
Now, have you received a request that kind of plays on that? I mean, not just the ephemeral part, but the entropy,
Yeah. I mean, so I haven't had a request that specifically, I don't think it was made to capitalize on it, but I was requested the shrunken head of Edward G. Robinson. And while I don't think it was my most spot on creation at the time, as it aged, it certainly got more accurate looking. I will say that. But we have a plankton that we made from SpongeBob that I had to make pretty big. But as he got older, he starts to look a lot more. They're kind of like shrink eatings.
Yeah.
The artwork that I draw on the balloons gets even more fine. Do you know what I mean? Because like as it shrinks down, it almost looks more impressive, the artwork, because it's on a smaller canvas. So it's pretty funny how it just like kind of tightens up.
Funny. That's so. And have you ever had like a catastrophic balloon failure on stream?
Oh yes,
yeah.
All the time. Again, I come back to Julie. I've just found my home. Like this is what I don't know if this is like exactly what I'll be doing X years from now, but this format allows the failure to be a part of the show. It's understood as a part of the medium. And so there's not a disappointment. There's almost it's like NASCAR. There's like, oh wow, nothing ever bad happens. There's no stakes. It's a balloon. It's a 10-cent piece of rubber. Like I although I will say we're currently in a balloon shortage.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding. That's more on that, but that's just a 2020 thing. There a lot of rubber manufacturing was shut down or delayed, and so now we're kind of in the backlog of demand. So it's fine. But again, I'm only making 3 or 4 balloons per stream, so I'm certainly going through less balloons than I used to in my regular job.
Is there a request that's come in that you're like, I don't even know where to start with this one?
So the ones that give me the hardest time are the ones that are, well, I wouldn't say the hardest time, but the ones that are more interesting are those that are abstract. When someone's asking me for a concept rather than the recreation of a physical thing or property or character or animal, if it's, it's just like make the Roman Colosseum. That sounds pretty hard, but it's like, yeah, but also it's a physical object and I can observe it and recreate it. Someone asks for Mr. Sharp's voice. Mr. Sharp is my husband, and he's on mic but not on camera, and he has this beautiful deep chocolatey announcer voice. It's wonderful. But like, so it's like, how do I make a balloon of his voice? So But the great thing is then that just becomes a chat discussion where people are pitching ideas at me. It's not like a, okay, lady, we're all going to sit here, and if you don't come up with something good, we're leaving. It's a collaborative experience. And when I'm stumped, or when I need a detail, or when I want input, I have a room full of people who are like, oh, his voice is like a velvet hammer or like an obsidian flame. And so we did an obsidian flame and a velvet hammer on either side of like an old school like microphone, So it was just a silly, who's to say whether or not that was successful. But when I say I can make anything, I'm counting heavily on the subjectivity of art.
Now, do you have like a balloon art goal that you haven't reached that you dream about?
Ugh. That's a really excellent question. I mean, no, I guess my goal at this point is sort of the amorphous goal of wanting to reach as many people as possible, wanting to make as many people smile as possible. Like that has been my driving like mantra, my mission, as it were. I don't know, like, but companies have mission statements. I'm just like, I consider myself a happiness person. That's my real medium. Again, I make balloons, and that's why people are in the room. But what people love is the energy and the fun and the silliness and the back and forth and there's a redemption where I'll do a chicken serenade where I cluck like a chicken a cappella, a song until they can guess which song I'm singing. Or my husband and I do what we call a mind meld, where we try and read each other's minds. It's an improv game where you try and like meet between two words. We try and say the same word at the same time. We have 4 chances to do it, and if we do it in under 4 or over 4, there's an under-over that's run, and people can gamble their channel points, which are this fake currency that you get for just watching. You don't have to be a subscriber, but you get free points for watching for an hour. And Twitch is so smart. They've really implemented a lot of ways for interactivity. But I am at this point an entertainer first and foremost, beyond being an artist. And so it's not that I want to make X number of balloons. It's that I want to make X number of smiles. I just want to make people happy. I want to make people smile. I want people to see what we're doing, and I want people to experience that wonder. I think we need it.
We do. Oh, do we? So where do you go? I mean, I can't believe you have a toddler. You have so much energy. So where do you go to get inspiration and fill up your wonder bucket?
My son is huge for that. That is, talk about a wonder bucket. That may be his new nickname, because he's any new human who's like learning language. And like I say, in that stage of like, wow, that's new. I didn't know that before today. That just every day has those moments. And every day he's showing me a little more about like who he is and who he's going to be and how he's seeing the world around him. And so he's very much this bottomless well of inspiration for me personally. And then again, my energy, I think people are always surprised to hear that I don't consider myself an extrovert. I am a performer, and when I have an audience, and even in a conversation, I can consider the other person that I'm speaking to an audience member. There's an energy that I get from that. There's an energy that I can feedback loop on, and it builds me up, and I can start firing on all cylinders, and I like that. But if I'm out in the world and or we're at a social gathering, or there's something about like a conversation or an interview, or where it's like, well, it's understood that I'm going to be talking for a long time.
Right.
Please just talk a lot. Oh, okay. Like, hand me a microphone. Oh, and I'm good, because I'm like, oh, I have the talking stick. I can turn it on. But when you're in the real world, it's more nuanced than that, and I don't trust my sense always. I don't trust my ADD always, and so I am much more reserved out in real social situations. I'm an introvert who gets her energy from performing, which is so strange to people. But I've that's as close as I've come to understanding it, and I'm sure my understanding of myself will, I hope, deepen as I age. But this is where we're at 40.
If someone wanted to, they're like, hey, making balloon art sounds kind of cool. Where would you direct them to learn? I mean, besides your stream, of course, but where would you direct them to learn about it?
I mean, YouTube is spectacular. There is so much quality free tutorials for the entry level stuff. And although, you see the stuff I'm doing, you're like, I want to do that stuff. I can't stress how important it is to just get a general understanding of the basics before, and it comes quickly. There's this steep learning curve of inflating and tying the balloon and getting over the fear of it popping. But once you're over that hump, it's very fast. Once you actually understand, once your hands understand what they can and cannot do to this cylinder, then wow, it's very fast. I've seen children pick up techniques that I didn't learn until I was 4 or 5 years in. So I absolutely recommend people get their hands on a bag of the balloons that you want are 260s, 260. And brands, I like Qualitex or Batalitex. There are some very cheap brands out there that are actually terrible quality. I know that's shocking. I like to learn on high quality balloons because I find a lot of those beginner kits come with low quality balloons, and then the balloons pop and people go, oh, I'm terrible at balloons. It's like, no, your balloons are terrible. And I know it's, a poor workman who blames his tools, but in this case, it's, if a failure means the entire thing disintegrates, kind of important that it be a good product. YouTube, just searching, balloon tutorials. Holly the Twister Sister is one who has a lot of good ones. MB Floyd, I forget, I think it's Balloon-Animals is his channel. There's just so many. And there's probably newer, more current ones that I'm not up to date on because I don't go out and search a lot of the intro stuff these days. But I mean, the internet is a beautiful place. Once you're ready to graduate to more intermediate or advanced designs, there is a whole industry awaiting you with open arms of creative artists who have, people will usually release things like, this is a princess DVD. So DVD was in the old days. Now it's streaming. But I've never had a VHS tutorial, but I did produce some DVD tutorials for sure. That's to age myself. But that's where people will release a series on how to make farm animals, how to make interactive pieces, how to make vehicles. And so you can kind of stock up on that. And those things tend to be like $50. But if you're working a birthday party, you book one birthday party, you've made that money back, you're good. But really, I just can't stress enough getting the product in your hand, because everyone starts with recipes. Everyone starts with, here's how you make a dog. Here's how you make a sword. Here's how you make a SpongeBob. Here's how you make a, ride a wearable jetpack. Yes, the recipes get more complicated. But the real fun is once you've done enough recipes that you can start reverse engineering recipes with your own artist's eye and your understanding of the medium you have and your options. That's when you really are starting to have fun.
Well, Shana, thank you so much for being so generous with your time. I'm sure your son is probably getting ready to get up from a nap, but
any minute
now. But I'm so grateful for so much time. I've learned so much and I've laughed so much. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you so much for taking the time and reaching out. It's always fun to just ramble on forever about this sort of stuff. So
We love it. You can find Shana on Instagram at sharpballoons and at twitch.tv/sharpballoons, which you'll find in the show notes. I'll also include links to her favorite nonprofits and mine too. Huge thanks to Shana for sharing her passion with us. Just a reminder that you can find this podcast on Instagram at LoveWhatYouLovePod, on Twitter at WhatYouLovePod, and the website is lovewhatyoulovepod.com. All of the transcripts for Love What You Love are available for everyone on the website, thanks to Emily White, transcription magician and proprietress of the Wordary. If you need transcripts, reach out to her at emilywhite@thewordary.com. The music for Love What You Love is called Inspiring Hope by Pink Sounds. A link to that artist is included in the show notes. As always, thank you so much for listening. Let's hang out again soon.
There's some good in this world, Mr. Fertile. And it's worth fighting